The anatomy of an argument. Please turn on your speakers. What happens when two people argue? Typically, the volume goes up and the listening goes down. This happens for a certain reason. Just think about it. What are you trying to do in an argument? Well, most of us are trying to win. It's a win-lose situation. If you win, then the other person loses. How do you try to win? Well, most of us try to win by aggressively pushing your points across. We do this by speaking loudly and packing a lot of information into as short a time as possible so we won't be interrupted. The problem is, the other person is doing the same thing, so now there isn't any listening going on whatsoever. He's really saying to her, I want you to listen, but she's saying at the same time, I want you to listen. So they'll say their points loud and repeat them again and again, because they think they can force the person to hear them, which just isn't true. How much control does he have over her to force her to listen to him? 0%. How much control does he have over himself to choose to listen to her? 100%. So, what's the smart thing to do? The smart thing to do is act on what you have control over. Let's stop for a second. I don't want to argue. You talk and I'll listen without interrupting. Then let me talk and you don't interrupt, okay? Who wouldn't agree to that? You've just given them what they are working so hard for, to be really heard and understood. Seek first to understand before being understood. This is Stephen Covey's 5th principle. What happens if he doesn't try to interrupt? It turns the need for her to have a loud, repeating, and aggressive tone of voice into something much softer, so she can think about what she's doing. This indicates a pause. It gives her a chance to think about what she's saying, to phrase it just right, to be careful in her thinking. She doesn't have to push it through so fast because she's afraid he'll interrupt. When she's indicated that she's finished, he can say, Are you done? This is what I heard you say, and repeat back to it. Did I get that right? Now let me talk without interruption. This approach will turn 90% of arguments into meaningful dialogues. What if the other person is just not ready to listen? What now? There's only one good response. Let's postpone this until later, when we've had a chance to calm down. If you don't do this, you're going to step right into a street fight. What if the person just keeps interrupting, even after you've listened to them? Politely but firmly say, Just a second, I'm not finished. Remember, we have a deal. I didn't interrupt you, and you don't interrupt me. What if it's your kids arguing with you? The problem for parents is that it's so easy to pull a parent power trip. It's my house, it's my rules. Don't speak to me that way. Don't interrupt me. Often said just after you've interrupted them. Here's a tip. To reinforce the don't interrupt rule, use a talking stick. Could be a pen or a pencil. Whoever has the stick has the floor, and only when the stick is physically passed can the other person speak. In order to change arguments to something more positive, all you need to do is be prepared to listen. Once you both have listened to each other, you can shift to problem solving. Okay, what are we going to do about it? To turn frowns into smiles, seek to understand before being understood. Good luck in changing all your arguments into dialogues. May they all be fulfilling.